Hello, welcome to the channel. Welcome back. This is video 2. This is video 2 of my fantasy series, which I think I'm gonna call Feries. Is that a good title? You let me know. But I'm thinking like fantasy and series put together, so it's the F from fantasy and the rest of series. And it sounds like that being that exists in fantasy books. Fairies? You know what I mean? I think it's a good like little pun. So maybe this will be called Furies. How do we feel about that? And on this video though, I am gonna be reading A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I've never read anything by her before, so I'm excited to start this. And I'm reading this for Minder actually. So Minder is Claudia, my cousin, and I's reading challenge that we do. This is the second year we've done it. There's a video on it on the channel. If you want to see that, you can go see it. I go more into depth, and if you want to participate in it, you also can. It's already over half a year gone, but you can still participate. And we're reading this for the challenge. Birthday person chooses the book for everyone to read in June, which is my cousin's birth month, and she chose this book for us to read, so that's why I'm reading this. And yeah, let's start, shall we? I'm recording this. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm recording this after I finish the book. It's read. I've read it. Look, can you see all of my annotations? So now you're gonna see what I thought about it. I said on Instagram that I was gonna start this book for Minder, and I asked for recommendations on what to annotate. Hillary said this, so I have no idea who this character is, but I'm gonna add that to my list of annotations before I start. So let's take note of that. I think I'm gonna do quotes, characters, magic system, and then the thing Hillary said. For now, at least. Here we go. Quotes, new characters, magic system, and Cal's coat. For now, I think this will be enough, but if I feel like I need to add more stuff to it, I'll let you know. Before I start this book, let me tell you what I know about it. The answer is nothing, or almost nothing. I haven't read the blurb, so I will do that in a bit. I did buy this in 2022 with the intention of reading it for my major project. Did I read it? No, obviously. I didn't read it. I didn't end up having any time. My major project was it wasn't rushed, but there was a lot going on, and I was constantly busy doing something else for it, so I didn't have time to read it. So yeah, before I start, actually I do need to go take a picture for my Instagram, because I'm still doing Jonathan at the time that I'm recording this, so I do need to go do that before reading the first chapter, which I do want to read the first chapter before I live stream today. Before I go take the photo for Jonathan, I'm gonna read the blurb with you. Cal is one of the last travelers, magicians with a rare ability to travel between parallel universes connected by one magical city. There is a grey London without magic and ruled by the Mad King George III. Red London, where magic is revered, this word, and where Cal was raised alongside the heir to the Empire. White London, where people fight to control the remaining magic, and magic fights back. And once there was a Black London. Alright, so let me see if I get this. So there's 3 Londons, grey, red, and white, and then there's black one, which it just ends with ... And once there was a Black London ... So I'm guessing we're gonna learn more about this Black London. This seems kind of like, you know, the butterfly effect? Like, there's always that idea that, like, if you go back in time and you try to change something, there's gonna be the butterfly effect, and something worse is gonna happen, or something worse might happen when you return to your time. It seems kind of like that, but with traveling between parallel universes, that there was something that went wrong, and that caused this Black London, whatever it was, to Someone's talking in the street. 1 second. Sounds like something happened with all of the traveling between parallel universes where it just caused some sort of rupture. Who knows? But it's definitely intriguing. I'm curious. I feel like all of the different Londons are going to confuse me a little, because I'm gonna have to remember which one is which might be a problem, but I am very curious. It's basically multiverse, right? Parallel universes. It's actually, story time. I went to the park to take some pictures for Junison with this book, and I was just sitting down, like, looking at it, as you do for the pictures, and I was like, I will look very dumb if I just take the pictures and don't even read a page. So I'm gonna be honest, I read the first paragraph. Actually, no, I read the first page, I read this, and then I stopped. First page of chapter 1, and it does seem to me like this is not only multiverse, but it's more like meta time traveling, because it says that you travel between parallel universes, but then it also gives this idea here at the beginning where it says, so when Cal passed through the palace wall and into the anteroom, he took a moment to study himself. He took its toll moving between worlds, and then shrugged out of his red high-collared coat and turned it inside out from right to left so that it became a simple black jacket. This, to me, I might be wrong because I only read the first page, but I'm still gonna throw it out there. But it does seem to me like he went to different times as well. Like, not only did he go to a parallel universe, he traveled, like, to a parallel universe, and he went to the past in that parallel universe. Something like that. And if it involves time traveling and a multiverse, then it is called a meta time travel. Which seems like it's what this is. I am not sure. I will be back in a bit after I read the first chapter of this to give you an update. Alright, my thoughts. I finished the first chapter, so here are my thoughts. I annotated so much. Like, because it's a whole new world and universe, there's so much new information on the first chapter, so I had to annotate a bunch. Like, wait, where does it start? There, look. Ta-da. 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 And there. My thoughts so far. I feel like it's still a little early to predict anything. There's 3 Londons. Red, white, and gray. Yes, red, white, and gray. Gray is the one that doesn't have magic. Red is the one with magic. And white is poor? I don't know exactly what's happening in white. But it's not good, apparently. People used to be able to travel between Londons, but now only travelers can. And Kel is one of those travelers. They have to use blood, it's blood magic, to travel between worlds, which honestly it just sounds painful. Having to cut yourself every time you need to travel somewhere else, especially because it seems like he delivers a bunch of messages from one world to another. It just sounds like not, it doesn't sound nice. I think this is like the only theory that I have. Not theory, like, it's not even theory, it's just like a thought. And it is that Kel might like Riz? Is that his name? Riz? Riz. It's Riz. Rai. You might like Rai. Rai is a prince. Oh, there's princes in this universe because it takes place in 1819. As far as I can tell, honestly, I don't know much history, but King George III is ruling in Grey London, which is basically our London, like the actual real life London. So it seems to me like it's accurate when he's in Grey London, but for the rest, like, it does say that all of the Londons, although they share a name, they don't look the same, and neither does the country or the world looks the same. As far as we know, Grey London might be the only one that has a concise like time like we know it, and that moves in a way that we know. We haven't seen the other ones, so yeah, that is all so far. It's very intriguing. I did have to reread a few parts to understand it, but other than that, I'm liking it so far. So I'm gonna go do some reading sprints now because it's Wednesday and it's almost 9. Believe it or not, do you see this much light? There's so much light. It's almost 9. It's 10 minutes to 9. So I'm gonna go get ready for stream, and I'll read more of this during my live stream, which should be good. Before I go, whoa, that's my screen on my glasses. Should I take my glasses off? I feel like that's so distracting. I'm gonna take them off. Alright. I have read, during the sprint, I read 2 more chapters. I finished the first part, which was The Traveler, and I still don't have any theories. Like, I feel like right now they are just introducing the world, and they're like showing us how everything works and who the characters are. So I really don't know where it's going, although I did find some stuff that I think are worth mentioning. It is mostly about Black London and what happened to it. It's on the second chapter when Kelly's talking to Prince Regent, the King George's son, and he asks him, "Do you know why our worlds are kept separate, Your Highness?" He didn't wait for the prince to answer. "It is to keep you safe. You see, there was a time ages ago when they were not so separate, when doors ran between your world and mine and others, and anyone with a bit of power could pass through. Magic itself could pass through. But the thing about magic," added Kel, "is that it preys on the strong-minded and the weak-willed, and one of the worlds couldn't stop itself. The people fed on the magic, and the magic fed on them until it ate their bodies and their minds, and then their souls." And then Prince whispers, "Black London." So there's that. That's nice. And I wrote on here District 13. So on the Hunger Games, there was that district, which was District 13, that the capital kept saying like that it was destroyed because they didn't listen to what they wanted or something like that. I don't remember. But it was something like that, right? And then we saw, spoiler alert, we get to know that the District 13 isn't actually, like, it actually exists. It didn't get completely destroyed. There's still people on there, and they are building this rebellion against their government. And I wrote this here kind of in a thought of like whether there are still people in Black London. Maybe there are people survived. Maybe like the story is a little different than what we think it is. So a little thing there. And there's also, is there anything else? Oh, we get to know in chapter 3 that there are still, because we've known before on previous chapters that people in Grey London don't know that magic exists. Like, they don't know that there used to be connections between worlds or anything, and only the royalty knows that exists. But we get to know in chapter 3 that there are collectors, and there are enthusiasts. Collectors and enthusiasts, who are people who believe in magic, and they just believe it because they want to believe it. Honestly, it's kind of like us, like very relatable. We don't know if magic exists, but we would like to believe that there is. And yeah, he had a funny interaction with one of the customers. It was pretty fun. He said, like, he made this guy try to move stuff on the board without touching them, and then he just did it so effortlessly to show him how it was done. And it's just, I love that. He's so sassy. I love it. Absolutely love it. It does say something at the end, because the person, it was an enthusiast, and he doesn't like enthusiasts. And the person asked him if he could bring him some dirt. He says, at one point, "If I brought you your dirt, What would you give me for it? And the dude said, name your price. Shout out to Austin Show. Name your price! And Kel asks, my price. And then he's thinking about it, and he says, Kel didn't smuggle trinkets between worlds for the money. Money changed. What would he do with shillings in Red London in pounds? He'd have better luck burning them than trying to buy anything with them in the white alleys. And then he ended up saying, I don't want your money. I want something that matters, something you don't want to lose. And I wrote here, something emotional or something personal. Would he want people to bring them people? Like, if he's trading with this enthusiast and the enthusiast brings him like his wife because it's personal to them, would he keep the person? That's what I'm wondering. Although right after he meets with the collector, and the collector gives him a music box as in return for the little game that he had. So I feel like he wouldn't accept people. Surely he wouldn't. But he's very endeared by this music box, and I also thought this was very beautiful. It says, a music box. Kel smiled to himself. They had music in Red London, and music boxes too, but most of theirs played by enchantment, not cog, and Kel was rather taken by the effort that went into the little machines. So much of the great world was clunky, but now and then its lack of magic led to ingenuity. Take its music boxes. A complex but elegant design, so many parts, so much work, all to create a little tune. I just thought that was adorable. There's a thing in chapter 2, like he moves to a bunch of different places in London, and I was thinking it could be fun to do a little walkthrough on Google Maps. Like drop the little guy and see the stuff, the places they went through. Although this was in 1819, but again, things like buildings, name of buildings might change, and their external appearances might change, but he passes through such historical places. Like he went through Westminster Abbey and the Windsor Palace, Windsor Castle, whatever it's called. So I feel like it would be nice to just walk around those places and actually see them. Well, not actually, because we're not actually seeing them in person, but seeing them on Google Maps just to get a better view, better perspective of where you walk through. Starting at Windsor Castle, this is where he went to visit King George III. I think we might be able to drop the little guy. Oh, look at this. Very nice, very pretty. And then this is all the way in Windsor, which is close to London, but it's not actually London. It's like it's between London and Reading. There's Reading, there's London. And then he went on to St. James Palace, which is right here. It's close to Hyde Park, close to Green Park and everything. So this is the castle where Prince Regent was at. Can we see this? Surely, yeah, we can walk through these streets. There it is. I think that's the palace. I think so. It still doesn't look as grandiose as it looks in the picture. It looks very old, doesn't it? And then he went all the way down. Wait, where is it? St. James Palace. He went down to St. James Park, which is right here. I don't know if we can just drop. We can walk. Oh, amazing. Okay, let's drop here. And let's go to this street. So if we go in this direction. How do you use maps? Maps is confusing. Okay. We're walking through. I'm assuming if we go through here, where do we get? Because after St. James, you walked to Buckingham Palace, which is right here. I don't know if it's easier if we go down and then left, or if we go, I guess we could go like this and then turn. So on the first thing, we need to turn. Alright, so let's keep going this way. All the way, this is true, this is where you walked. All the way up to the first, I think we're almost there, where we need to turn. Oh, it's here. Okay, we need to go this way for Buckingham Palace. This way. I guess for them to make these images, they would have had to walk instead of have a car, because there's so many pedestrians here. I think we're almost there. Oh, we can already see Buckingham Palace right here at the distance. There it is. You walked all the way to Buckingham Palace. There is Buckingham Palace. We're very close to it now. And then he went all the way down to Westminster Abbey. To do that, we have to do quite a lot. We need to go, so we are here. We need to go down again, then all the way to, all the way to here. That Westminster Abbey is around here somewhere. There it is, Westminster Abbey. So if we are here, we can just turn and go through this street all the way to Westminster. It is quite a walk till Westminster Abbey. It is kind of far. It's a little far. Well, I keep moving the little thing accidentally. Where is it? Okay, I'm just gonna drop on Westminster. There it is. There is Westminster Abbey. So he walked all the way there. And then, after that, he went to Stone's Throw, which is so far away. Like, he had to walk quite a bit to get there. And it's now called the 5 Points. At the time it was called the Stone's Throw, but now it's 5 Points. So, a recap. We started at St. James Palace, right here. We walked all the way down to St. James Park, and then we went into Buckingham Palace, and we went again all the way to Westminster Abbey, and then we go to 5 Points, which is right here. So this is how far it is. That's Victoria Park, Queen Elizabeth, wait a second, Regent's Park, and there's Hyde Park, and so Buckingham Palace is here. See, this is how much he walked. It was a lot. So you went from like around here, which is Westminster Abbey, all the way up to here, the 5 Points Brewery and Tap Room, which in the story is called the Stone's Throw. And that's how much he walked. Okay, a quick update. I am on chapter 2 of the second part, and when I read the first chapter, I really thought that Rye and Kel were like dating. They had a thing, because the guard kind of confirmed that Rye is interested in men and that he has affairs with men. However, then I read the second chapter, and now like people treat Kel as if he's part of royalty. Like, he's at this night market and a child bumps into him, and then the mother gets the child without like noticing that Kel is Kel, because he's wearing not a common jacket, so they didn't notice that it was him right away. But then when he noticed, it says, and then she saw Kel's face, and the words died. She had the decency not to turn and flee like her son, but what she did was much worse. The woman bowed in the street so deeply that Kel thought she would fall over. "Aven Kel," she said, and then she tries to speak in English, which is the royal tongue. It feels a lot like he might be part of royalty. And it also says, because like he just wanted to have a normal time at this market, but now that people know that it's Kel, they're all going quiet and stuff. And it does say Rye knew how to deal with these moments, how to twist them, how to own them. Kel wanted only to disappear. So now I think that instead of Kel and Rai being lovers, I think they're brothers. Also, I was thinking in chapter 1, before I forget, there was a guard. Was it a guard? No, it was an Atari. It was the other Atari. Holland? Or Horrid? What's his name? Holland. Holland wanted to give a gift to Rai, and Rai says, "You know the laws, I cannot take." I'm just wondering, why can't they receive gifts? Is it like not okay for them in general to receive gifts because they're like royalty or something? Or is it because it was given by an Atari? Can they not accept gifts from an Atari? And if him and Kel are brothers, then can he not accept gifts from Kel? Or was it the type of gift that Holland was trying to give him? Anyways, gonna keep going now. I'm pretty sure the plot is gonna have something to do with people wanting to regain power, because it seems like there's a lot of the plot revolves around power and how power can be destructive. So I got a feeling that might be where the plot is going. Maybe something like person wants to return the power. Why should Atari be the only ones who can travel between worlds? Something like that. Alright. I finished the second part. There's not much to add, but Kel is adopted. So I was kind of close. He was adopted when he was 5. But it all seems very fishy. Like, he doesn't remember his parents, but he has a feeling that people cast a spell on him for him to not remember. And he thinks that the royal family did that. And he also says something here. And whether or not Rai wanted to admit it, Kel belonged to the royal collection. So it all feels, oh, my food! I need to take my food out of the oven. I'm back. But yeah, what I was saying is, it all feels very weird. It feels kind of like possessive, and feels kind of like the royal family is collecting rare things to have in their castle. Also, it's illegal to erase people's memories, and apparently he has a feeling that the kings did it. He has a secret room at like the top of a bar, pub, something. I'm pretty sure that's gonna get him in trouble, kind of like that scene from The Little Mermaid where her dad finds all of her human stuff. Kind of like that, because he's keeping stuff from the other Londons, which is illegal. I read, oh my god, is this a good angle? This is not a good angle, but I don't want to get up, so we're gonna deal with this. I read the third part of this, which was the what was it called? Thief. Yag Thief. Great. You know, I was gonna say, that was one of my points. It took me until the last chapter in this part to figure out that Lila is from Grey London. I probably should have gotten that, seeing as the chapter was called The Grey Thief. Huh. Well, there's nothing to say, really. She's a badass. I like her. And the map that she has that has no names, and she doesn't know where it leads to, I think that's gonna lead to one of the other Londons. Although not that I know this takes place in Grey London. It probably takes place, like the map probably leads to Red London, because they don't know about magic, right? Only the royalty knows. So that's my guess. Either that, or it takes to one of the other Londons, like Black London, maybe. She's kind of like a lost child. It's like she also doesn't have parents, or she's an orphan or something. It would be kind of funny if she was siblings with Kel, like actual siblings, not half siblings. Okay, so a few days ago, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago by now, I calculated how much I needed to read every day so that I'd finish this on the 30th of this month. and it was 43 pages. But I am struggling to read 43 pages every day. I almost did it yesterday. Today, however, I need to get to page 170, I think, 170. And I am still on page 114. So I am very behind. But it's so hot in the UK. Like, I feel like the classic British person just complaining about the weather, but it truly is too hot. It's coming down a bit now, but it's still too much. It was 32 degrees. I read a little bit in the morning outside, but I haven't touched this book since. I've just been laying in bed. I have my fan on. Can you see it? Wait, no, you can't. So I'm gonna see how much I can read, and then I'll update you. I've read the third part, and I'm finishing the fourth part. After I finish the fourth part, I'll give you an update. But until then, I'm gonna power through this. I just finished the fourth part of the book, and here are my thoughts so far, including the stuff from the other parts that I haven't said anything. The Queen and King from White London are fucking insane. And what else happened? Kel was stabbed by someone, and he was given a black stone thing that's apparently as a symbol of Ontario language, and it's like very rare and stuff. But he was stabbed with like this magical sword that drains magic, so he's not doing good. He managed to get back to Red London, but then he went back to London to London. Then he went back to Grey London because he still had the stone, and he didn't want people to know because it's illegal for him to take stuff from other Londons. And now that he's in Grey London again, he was just robbed by Lucy.
What?
Not Lucy. What's her name? Lola? Lila. Right. So yeah, that's fun. My first idea was that they might be brothers. I think I mentioned that, right? That they might be brothers. Because they are both orphans, I'm guessing. Like, we don't know what happened to Kel's parents, but we know that Lila is an orphan. And like, as far as we know, Kel was adopted when he was 5, so his parents might be dead. Who knows? I still like that theory. I think that would be kind of fun if they were siblings. And he does say, like, when he crashes into her, he says, "And then she smiled, not with her whole mouth, just the edges," and Kel thought in a far-off woozy way that under different circumstances they might have been friends. When I saw that, I wrote, what if she steals his coin? Wow. And she stole everything he had in his pocket. So now I think he's trapped in London right now, in Grey London, unless he can go through the prince's wall. I'm not sure how it works still, because like, I think he needs a coin. My thoughts are, either he gets stuck in Grey London and he needs to go after Lila, and like, maybe they get a ship together and she uses the map to drive back to Red London because his magic isn't working. Or he goes through the portal in Grey London back to Red London, and then he has to find Lila again to get the rock back. I don't know. Something like that, perhaps. Other than that, the person that slashed them, I like the person who hired people to go and stab him. There's a fly in my room. It says, "But when the man drew his weapon, Kel froze. He was no rusted dagger, but a gleaming half sword, and he knew the sigil on its hilt, the chalice and rising sun, the symbol of the royal family. It was the blade wielded by members of the royal guard, and only by them." So on here I was like, maybe it was Parrish, the what's his name? Rise guard, or his other guard that I don't know the name of. But then it says, The language of magic hadn't always belonged to Antari alone. No, there were stories of a time when others could speak directly to magic, even if they couldn't command it by blood. Of a world so bounded to power that every man, woman, and child became fluent in its tongue. Black London, the language of magic had belonged to them. So maybe it's like the kind of theory of it being like Hunger Games, and this London not being completely dead could still stand. You could be someone from Black London. Although I got a feeling it might be maybe his parents, not the real biological parents, but the adopted parents, like Queen and the Queen. What did I say?
I command a spaceship called the SS Dolphin. And also, I'm gay. Sorry, why the fuck did I say that? I meant dead. What the hell? Why did I say that?
The King and the Queen from Red London. That's my theory so far. I'm not sure where this is gonna go, but I really wanna see his interactions with Lila. I think that's gonna be funny. Because they are both very funny and very sassy, so I think that's gonna be cool. I would want to see more from Rye though, and we haven't seen much from him yet, but maybe he'll appear in the next part, I'm not sure. It does say, the next part, part 5, Thieves Meet. So I got a feeling Cal and Lila are gonna meet in this part because they're the thieves in it. I'm gonna power through this next part and I'll be back. Okay, no, excuse me. I said I was gonna return after I read this part. I just read the first chapter. What the fuck was this? It says it's the men that wanted to attack Kel. It says stop. The young Atari had ordered his attacker, and the attacker had not listened, but the magic had. It had poured out of the black stone in the Atari's hand, coiled around the man, and hardened into a shell. And now the shell was breaking. The once frozen man shuddered, then took a breath. The royal half-sword slipped from his fingers and clattered to the stones, as the last shimmering drops of magic glistened like oil on his skin before sinking in, the veins darkening, tracing over him like ink. The man's head hung forward, eyes open but empty, and fully black, pupils blown and spreading through irises and into whites. Huh? Is this something that is like, is this what killed Black London? Is this like a disease or something that's spreading, like a parasitic thing that infiltrates people's bodies through magic? Like, what is happening? Okay, little update. I finished the part 6. Let me share the rest of my thoughts about this. There was a guy at the end, on the last chapter in this part, that just grabs. This is so weird to explain. Kel and Lila's meetup was as funny as I thought it was going to be, and at the end she dropped like this sword that she got with magic. She dropped it out of the window. This will make no sense for someone who hasn't read this book, but I'm assuming you have read this, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So she throws it out because she feels like it's too dangerous. And there's this drunk guy on the last chapter who gets the sword, like he grabs it, and then the sword is stuck to his hand, and he can't shake it off, and the sword literally kills him and makes him, like, possesses him. Like, the sword disintegrates into magic, and the magic goes into his blood, and it becomes magic itself. It's very weird. It's like this possession thing, and I think this was what happened in Bad London, in Black London. It's like, it seems like they're trying to form some sort of army, because now we have 2 guys who have been kind of possessed by this thing, one in Red London and now one in Grey London. And who knows what they're capable of? Well, a parasite, when the body dies, or when the body stops being useful, a parasite needs to find a new body to survive. So my guess is that that parasite, quote unquote, now is going to the other Londons to continue to sustain itself, which sounds very gross. I think he's just gonna try and possess all, like, red London, white London, grey London. He's gonna try and possess all of them. But I do think that because it was contained, right? Like they've said before, that whatever was bad in Black London was contained there, and that's why they closed the gates between worlds so that it would stay contained there. But they have mentioned that White London is the closest one to Black London, and that they were kind of fighting with Black London. So something tells me that the king, maybe perhaps the king and queen of White London, got a hold of this parasite, and they were the ones to release it out. And I'm guessing initially they wanted to release it and have it possess Kel, but that didn't happen. Or wait, maybe not, because they sent people to kill up Kel. So I don't know, it's very weird right now. I got a feeling it might be the king and queen of White London or Holland. I don't know, I just don't trust the guy. He might be under, and like that's the thing, right? He's under the king and queen's control. Like he'll have to do everything they say. So it could just be him, and it could be doing it under the orders of the king and queen, or he could just want to do it. I don't know. It's very odd. I still feel like Kel and Lila could be friends. Her name is Delilah. Why did I point that out? I don't know. When I read it, I was like, hey there, Delilah. When Kel sees her, like, for the first time, he describes her as having the only roundness came from her eyes, both brown but not quite the same shade. And he does have, like, his natural colored eye is blue, because she has said that before. One is blue and the other is like the whole black eye. But they could still be brothers, even though he has blue eyes and she has brown eyes, because genetics are weird, and they could act like that. If let me think about this. Even if both parents have brown eyes, the kid can be born with blue eyes, because as long as they have blue eyes in their genes, because brown is dominant over blue. Does anyone care? Even if you had blue, like for example, my eyes are brown, but I'm pretty sure that they're not completely, like, in the genetics, they have blue in the genetics. Not blue necessarily, but like a lighter color, probably gray, to be honest, because both my aunt, my grandma, and my grandpa, and I think there's more people in the family, but those 3 people, I know there's 3 people in my family that have light eyes. So technically my eyes have the genes of light eyes, but because they also have the genes of brown eyes, because my parents both have brown eyes, I turned out with brown eyes, because brown is dominant over lighter color of eyes. Does that make sense to you? I don't know if anyone cares, but yes. So my point here is that even though they have different colored eyes, they could still be siblings, because if both parents had brown eyes, but in their genetics they had blue eyes in their genes, then they had a 50-50 chance of having a kid with blue eyes. So that would explain, like, that could be a thing. They could still be brothers and have different colored eyes. Anyways, I'm gonna support this theory until the end of the book, and until it's proven wrong. I still think they are brothers. Honestly, it was just like the way that he felt when he saw her that made me think, oh wait, I know how to do this. It's only 1 gene per table. So see, if you have a person with brown eyes, completely brown eye gene, and another person with completely blue eye gene, there was no chance for the kids to have blue eyes, because again, brown is dominant. I am using C and A because that's how it's pronounced in Portuguese. So but yeah, but if it's the opposite, can you see it? Look, so if the parents would have brown eyes, but they have the blue gene in them, Then they have 25% of having a completely brown-eyed kid, 50% chance of having a brown-eyed kid but with blue genes in their eyes, and 25% chance of having a blue-eyed kid. So that's how it works.
Yes, science!
I don't remember what was the last thing I filmed, but I'm way overdue an update on this. I am currently on page 220, so I am halfway through, over halfway through actually, so I have this much left. And I really don't remember what was the last thing I said. I've read quite a few chapters without recording my thoughts, that I know. I remember recording this part on camera, which is kind of embarrassing because they are not brothers. Kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie. Like the part it said, do I even start there? I don't even know if I should start there. So much happened. Holland went after Lila because he wanted to know where Kel was to steal the stone, and it was a whole mess. Kel almost died. That was crazy. Lila saved him though, so that's good. Holland, I was so like so excited. I was so excited when it sounded like Lila had killed Holland, but she didn't. He's still alive. I really thought that the way, because they didn't know how to get to Black London, right? When they were still like thinking about it. Because Kel says it belongs in Black London. He said, I have to take it back. And then it says, but how can you? You don't know what's left of it. And even if you did, you said the world was sealed off. And here I was thinking to myself, oh, Lila's map that she has, that she doesn't know where it takes. That's the one. That's how they're gonna get there. They're gonna have to get a boat. They're gonna have to sail. Although it doesn't truly make much sense now that I think about it, because you can access the world by boat. So I didn't really think about it, but I really, for a second, for like a chapter, I was really excited because I thought that was what was gonna happen. He's gonna have to go from Grey London to Red London, and then Red London to White, and then from White to Black somehow. So that's gonna be nice. Lila wants to go with him though, because she wants to be far away from where she is right now. And this was where, before they leave, here it is. Before they leave, it says, they're like looking at a wall. Don't a wall. They're looking at a wall, and Lila says, I'm not going to die, not till I've seen it. Seen what? Her smile widened. Everything. Kel smiled back, and then Lila brought her free hand to his jaw and tugged his mouth towards hers. The kiss was there and then gone, like one of her smiles. What was that for? He asked Taz. For luck, she said, squaring his shoulders to the wall. Not that I needed. When I tell you, I was shocked. In my head, I had played it up for them to be brothers. Like, I was fully convinced that they were brothers. I was so convinced. And then they kissed, and I was like, this feels out of nowhere. I didn't see the chemistry at all. For me, it was a brotherly relationship. Like, truly, their interactions and everything, it sounded brotherly to me. So when they kissed, I was like, I was kind of disgusted, not gonna lie. Because I was like, what is happening? So I just can't win. Like, at first, the relationship that I thought was gonna be lovers turned out to be brothers, and now the brother relationship turned out to be lovers. So I cannot win. Another thing that I thought was interesting that is said a little bit before. I'm not going to run into myself, am I? Asked Lila, breaking the silence. Kel glanced her way. What are you talking about? She kicked a loose stone. Well, I mean, it's not a world, isn't it? Another version of London? Is there another version of me? Kel frowned. I've never met anyone like you. So, that kind of puts aside the theory that this takes place in a multiverse or meta time travel, like I said in the beginning, because the theory explained by Max. What's his name? Tegmark? I have a book. It's called Our Mathematical Universe that explains this dude's theory on the multiverse. It's several theories because he has multiple theories on the multiverse and how we could exist. And the idea of a multiverse is that there are multiple infinite versions of you in different universes. It's what we see in like Spider-Man, for example, what we see in Miraculous Ladybug. Kinda, no. We don't see that. I mean, yeah, kinda. It's kind of Miraculous Ladybug now that I think about it. I'm sure there's more shows with it, I just cannot remember. So it's none of that. They basically are just traveling between different planets in a way. So it is technically more like closest to how the Owl House works, where there is a portal that they can use to access both the human realm and the demon realm. And this is kind of like that. And like there used to be access, there used to be doors, the worlds used to be connected. And I'm guessing they would do it kind of like that. There would be 4 doors, one that connected like to the gray London, one to black London, one to white, one to red, and that they would just walk through the doors, and that would be that. So it is truly just traveling between planets, between worlds. It's not multitasking. It's not multiverse or meta time travel. It's none of those, which I thought was going to be actually. So I don't know if I'm a little disappointed or if I'm like kind of glad, because I feel like that would get very confusing very fast. There was an instance where Kel had a second one of him when Lila like summoned him with a stone. She made a second version of Kel, and that on itself, just them describing the fight against the 2 Kels, that on itself was already confusing enough. So I feel like if this was actual multiverse and there were multiple versions of Kel in every universe and multiple versions of Lila and Rai and Holland, oh my god, imagine multiple versions of Holland. We don't need that. I hate Holland, truly. Like, so far I love Kel, I love Lila. I don't really know how I feel about Rai yet because we barely been with him, but the small things that we've read of him, I liked his attitude. Holland, I despise that guy. He can die. He needs to go. Like, it's his time. He's been here long enough. He needs to go. He killed Baron. I loved Baron. We barely knew Baron, but I already loved him. They're gonna get to Black London. And I got a feeling, because this is a trilogy, either they get stuck in Black London and it ends with them stuck, or they get back and it seems like the danger is over, but it's actually not. It only just began. Because like maybe they went there to leave the stone, they came back, and they thought they closed it, but something worse came out. Something like that. That's my thoughts. Oh, that's right. Funny thing. I don't know if you noticed. I know I updated after that, and I didn't notice. I skipped a chapter without realizing. So that was cool. I just didn't even question it. I was a little confused, but I was like, I guess I'm just confused in fantasy books. Nothing new there. I skipped a chapter because I think I said some stuff wrong about when Kel gets the stone and like is like punched or something by those 2 guys, and then one of the guys turns into one of the black-eyed army. That's what I'm calling them. I didn't realize, because for me, I thought that he was still in White London. But then at the end, he was in Red London. So I was just confused. I skipped the chapter where he is like, after he gets out of the White Throne, and he's like drunk. And he's walking with, and he finds a person. And this woman tells him that she has a letter that she paid a really hard price to get to her, or to get something, and that it was from a person that was the only person left in her family that was stuck in Black London, and she wanted him to deliver the letter. and that letter was a thing that was like the setup. Because I was like, he was at the Black Throne, now he has a letter. Sure, that probably got it at the White Throne. I'm not even gonna question it. And so no, that's how he got that letter. So that's nice. He was, oh yeah, so he gets the letter and then he goes to Red London. So all of the thing where he got like attacked happens in Red London, which makes way more sense. Way more. Here is how far Lila dragged Kel when he was injured by Holland. She is at the Baronstide, which is on a street called Mariner's Walk, which is here. So she was around here, and she dragged him back to the Stone Straw, which we know that it's now called the 5 Points, which is here. So she dragged them all the way back to here. That is a almost 5 hour long walk. That's insane. That is so much. That's honestly really far away. I don't know how they managed that. It's time for an update. Time for an update. I don't know when I last updated you, because to be honest, I should have finished this book 3 days ago. But I haven't, because I got really busy editing the video that came out today. I actually don't know where I'm at because I've been reading on my phone. I've been reading the ebook version. So let me pull that up for you real quick so that I can show you on the book where I'm at. I am on page 324, so I only have this much left. Some updates, some important things. We've been told that the reason why Lila's eyes are different tones of brown is because she has a missing eye. She doesn't have one of her eyes, it's a glass eye. It was the dude that noticed the dude at the sanctuary thing. It says here, how did you lose it? Lose what? Your eye. Lila pulled her face from his grip, her hand going to the darker of the 2 brown eyes, the one made of glass. Few people ever noticed. And a little bit before, it says, the girl has power in her, unnurtured, unattended, unawakened. It shall awake on its own, Delilah Bard, and if you nurture it, it will grow. I am almost sure that Lila is a Antari. Because, well, there's lots of reasons, but the first one, the eye that's missing, could have been her black eye. 2, she has magic. Like, she just hasn't tended to it yet. Because she probably didn't even know that she had magic. Because she never had the eye, and probably because people tried to hide that from her. We've been told that her dad was abusive. That I think she killed him, right? Something like that. He was abusive either way. So, what if when she was born with a black eye because she's an Antari, but then the dad saw the black eye, he was scared because like, what the fuck, why does she have a black eye? Maybe he was scared, or maybe he was like, oh, this must be diseased, the eye must be infected or something, we need to remove it so it doesn't spread through the rest of the body. And that's why she doesn't have that eye, because it was removed because they didn't know that it was normal, or because they feared. Because it could have been that they didn't know and they thought it was infected, or it could have been that they knew what it meant and they were scared of the consequences of it. So they removed it. And because she grew up in Grey London, her powers never grew because she never nurtured the powers, because she didn't even know magic was a thing, right? The other reason why I think she's an Antari is because the wall let her through. When Kel did the little spell thing for them to move from Grey London to Red London, the wall didn't even like try and push her back, it just let her through. It could have been the magic of the stone that did that, but I got a feeling it was because she's an Antari as well. And the magic just knows, the wall just knows that she's an Antari, so they let her through. And yeah, that's my biggest theory so far. Oh, Rai almost died. That's right. Rai died for like a bit, but then he was brought back to life, and now he's tied. Like his life is tied to Kel, so if Kel dies, Rai dies. I'm guessing if Rai dies, Kel dies as well. So that's cool. Definitely cool. They're now on White London, and he needs to go into White and then Black London. I don't think, because he just got stopped. So Lila went through to White London, but Kel was stopped in Red London by Holland. I don't know how that's gonna go. I got a feeling Lila might be in trouble. Because she's there alone, and she has no magic, because Kel has the stone. So, bad. Very bad. Holland dies? This is very loud. I just realized I am making soup. Soup. I finished the what's it called? The Awaiting King section, and I got some thoughts. At the end of the Awaiting King on chapter 6, actually no, on chapter 5, Kel destroys the stone, and it kind of seems like he's destroying magic itself, because the people, like the parasite that was invading like these people in Red London, are now dying as well. Like that parasite is dying. There's a bunch of things dying. It sounds like Rai is gonna die. I know he's not gonna die. If he destroyed magic, like first, did he actually destroy magic, or was it just this parasite / the stone? And if he destroyed magic, like actual magic, will they, as in Kel and Lila, are they gonna be stuck in White London because they can go back to Red London because there's no magic? Or that, and also will all of the people lose their magic also? Or can Kel still perform magic because he's different? He's a special boy. He's an Antari. Like, can he still do that? And I'm pretty sure Lila's still an Antari. I'm so convinced of that. So I'm pretty sure if his magic works because he's an Antari, that she's gonna be able to go through with him as well because she's an Antari and the magic just knows. But I got a feeling that magic might be destroyed, at least for a bit, or maybe it's like injured, and they can't make magic for a while. And they just killed like the king and queen from White London. Thank God, finally. I don't have to worry. Why is everything wet? Does that mean that they are now the king and queen of White London? Because it is whoever kills the king and queen becomes king and queen? Is it? I don't know. Okay, it's time to wrap this video. Oh, this is not pointing towards me. There you go. I finished this morning, and I don't really know how to feel about it. Like, I'm sure you've seen throughout this vlog me falling in love with characters and stuff, me disliking characters, so I had an emotional connection to this book, which was already different from my feelings with Caraval, which was the previous video on this series. However, the ending was not my favorite. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like it was bad or terrible or anything. I give this book 4 stars. The thing is, if this was a standalone, this would be perfect. This would be 5 stars, no doubt. The problem was that this is part of a trilogy, and I feel like the way this ended as the first book on this trilogy was not a good ending. Like, there was nothing that made me feel like, after reading this, there's nothing that makes me want to grab the second book, because it doesn't leave you on a cliffhanger or anything like that. It just, I feel like some of my theories where like Kel gets stuck on the black side, like basically the thing that he thought was going to happen, I think if that had happened during this book, it would have made it so much better as the first book in this trilogy. But because that didn't happen, I feel like the story got wrapped up so perfectly that I don't really want to continue, because I know they're gonna have to reopen old wounds and stuff in order to have the 2 other books, but I just don't wanna. I don't. So I think I'm gonna probably stay here with this series. Who knows? I might, like I said in Caraval, I might read the second one and third one just to see how it ends. But as of now, I don't feel like I might do that because it didn't give me any reason to want to. You know? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's mostly my reasoning behind my 4 stars. Like I still really loved it, really, but I just, yeah, it wasn't gripping enough at the end. I also, because I took like almost a week off reading this because life got in the way, I kind of lost my attachment to it in a way. So the last few chapters I was kind of just reading it for the sake of finishing before my live stream, which was also not good. Otherwise, yeah, I think like world building wise, she does a great job. She also writes in a very simple way that it's not hard for me to understand. I don't have to go search words every few seconds, which is a plus for me. I like her writing style a lot. And I love their characters. I know some people find like Lila annoying. I love Lila. She's one of my favorite characters. Actually, I think she's my favorite character. I was thinking, if Lila isn't my favorite character, then who is? I think it adds a lot of satisfying characters. And I like that she killed one of the characters. Actually, she killed a bunch of characters. So, respect, something that the person who wrote Caraval cannot do. At least not in the first book. So that's awesome. Very cool. And I think that's gonna be where I end my review, actually. If you want to hear more thoughts, more in-depth thoughts, you can go watch my live stream that I did for this. It's gonna be up. You can see on my little cards. And with that, if you enjoyed this video, then feel free to give it a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really helps me out a lot. And with that, I'm gonna be going. Bye bye.